Guys, hello and welcome back. It's time for the second set of semifinals for the day. Myrmidons going to be facing off against Team Arcadia in this one. It's going to be first facing off against the 4th seed in this particular matchup. So, with that said, they are flying through picks and bans like crazy people. So I'm going to work on catching up with that.
Yeah, Myrmidons started off with a Freya ban. Now, I've been seeing a little bit of this, and a lot of focus has been put back on towards Freya on both the left-hand lane. She's actually pickable as a flex pick, but risky on the right-hand side of the map as well. She's not altogether the safest pick to stick over there, and there's been a lot of talk about running Achilles Spear as well.
There's some weird options and interactions with that. The nerf to sprint, it no longer removes the in-hand movement speed penalty for when you start attacking. It's just a straight up remove slows, gives you increased movement speed. Hasten Fatalis, on the other hand, was buffed slightly. Unless it was changed, which it wasn't changed. I believe it's 2 seconds now instead of 1 second. I'm double guessing myself here.
I'm 100. I'm okay, not 100, but like 99% sure it is 2 seconds. It did receive definitely a buff, and it wasn't to the statistics on it. It was only on the passive. So
Freya, one of the first items she will usually rush to pick up is that Hasten Fatalis. Getting that increased movement speed for a longer period of time. Your opponent being slowed when you have her 2 active, not only range attack, but AoE splash as well. They're going to be slowed, you'll be moving more quickly, and they can't just pick up Sprint 3 on a Hunter and look to just run away like they could previously. So nice little buff going over to her. Apparently, chat telling me they did in fact revert that buff. Unfortunate, but nevertheless, still a viable pickup on her. People kind of realize, oh hey, Freya still kind of works. The wave clear is kind of back in check. There's no more Bluestone Pen to kind of give Hunters infinite mana. Infinite quote-unquote, trademark soon, whatever. It works out quite well. Freya, a viable pick. We saw her banned once or twice in the first series as well. So definitely, once again, a pick people are looking to potentially grab.
Well, interesting to see this drafts coming out as well, and not so much focus coming through from Mogao as well. Mogao is your aggressive solo laner. He loves running your Sharks, he loves running your Hades, he loves running Sun Wukong. That's his majority of his god pool. Heavy rotations, very big early amounts of pressure both onto his tower and on towards the jungle in between his and mid lane. Interesting to see how he adapts here, as we do see his Hades lock in. That'll 100% be for him.
Yeah.
But Thor was left available as well. And that's crucial for me. We discussed at the start of the show how Thor is going to be one of the 2 big junglers, with Humbats being the other.
There's definitely some play option available in the jungle these days. A lot of Guardians are viable. It's going to be Rama picked up for the final pick for Myrmidons. On the other side, they just moved it around. If I can figure out who the heck it was. Was it Hercules picked up for the final pick, I believe? So we'll get that up on screen here for you in just a moment, if I can find him in this list. Look at the team comps overall, though, as they're finally fully completed. Hades on Mogao is something you don't want to be running up against. This is a series where if he picks that and does well this game, and then potentially does again next game, you'll see Hades bans start to come out against that. In that situation, his Wukong is really good. His regular old pool of just, general soul laners. Maybe it's not his preferred soul laners, but he'll play the Hercules. He'll go for the Hunter. I believe we saw him on a Hunter one of the games 2 weeks ago. Can't remember quite exactly, but it's not a case of, oh, I only play Hades, that's my entire god pool. He still has that other reserve of regular soul lane gods to fall back to. So it's not just because, oh, we just ban out the Hades, we ban the Sun Wukong, and he's no longer concerned. It's then becomes, we just wasted 2 bans on one wasted, quote unquote, 2 bans on one person, and that means more high tier picks for the enemy team to pick up, as well as him just going to some other god he's going to do more or less just as well with. Or we saw Chalk on him as well, going crazy with that.
Chalk, SWK as well. And you mentioned it, he can play standard as well. It doesn't have to just be these early pressure, that's just what he prefers to play.
Yep.
And then if you waste those bans on him, what else are you leaving up? Bellona. You're leaving up potentially Ymir, and this is EU, so the focus on towards Ymir can be insane. You're leaving up potential mid lane picks. We didn't actually see a Giannis ban or pickup coming through this time around, but Apollo banned away, Athena banned away as well. There's just so many good bans at the moment that if you focus those bans down on particularly to one person, you're gonna give up one of those general other ones, and your team has to be able to deal with that. So
yep, well that's it guys, we're going to cut a quick little break, get ourselves all set and ready to go in the first match between Myrmidons and Team Arcadia. We'll see who can get themselves off to a nice little first game victory over their opponents in just a few minutes when we're back with the game. Alright guys, we are back. Myrmidons, Team Arcadia facing off in this first round matchup of the EU Challenger Cup Summer Grand Finals. It's a best of 5 series, so there's some room to play around for these guys. That said, it's always nice to get that first game out of the way with a victory in your book.
Yeah. Who doesn't want to start the series off entirely positively and go out, you know, first game, win? We don't have to go back to the drawing board. We've got to win in the book. We direct the flow of the next couple of games if we really want to. If we want to play hyper aggressive, we can do that. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. It's okay. We haven't lost out. We've already that one game up. We've got the room to improvise if we really want to.
Let's face it, the dream is 3-0, and if you don't win the first game, the dream is dead already. So you got to win that game if you want the dream to be alive and well. Myrmidons, Team Arcadia, neither team really going for anything early on, just kind of hanging around the towers. Team Arcadia being the first team to kind of branch off. They're going for a mid-Harpy start right side. If it's a repeat of what happened back in the lower semifinals, this could be an invade on the back of this. They do have double hog coming out as well on the solo and jungler.
And it's into Mogar's Hades as well, so... Level 1, yeah, not the strongest. And if they can deny him a mana buff as well, that could be crucial.
Well, it might be a little too late right now. They still have, they just use the other hog as well. So no invade coming out on the right-hand side of the map. They'll be picking up buffs per usual. The interesting thing will be the level differences. The mid-Harpies are a little bit more. You see them going to a lane level 2 as well. They're not going to be behind in that regard. They'll be at lane about the same time in the end, so they're not really losing out on anything. Mid-Harpies will be down, however, for that side of things. Look at the dip. They cleared the wave up. They're going to go back and pick up the speed buff. Overall, they will be ahead because back Harpy camps were not started by Myrmidons.
Interesting. Oh, well, yeah, it's a risk, right? If Myrmidons take the back Harpy camps, they come out totally even right there. And then, you know, they lose a little bit of pressure in towards the wave. But what it does do is buys Hercules a little bit of time against this specifically bad Hades matchup. Everyone has a bad matchup in a Hades. Why? Hades clears that wave so easily. That's the problem. But at least giving him some bonus XP, he's level 3 when he walks back in here for this second wave.
Left side Harpy cams in the mid lane were picked up by Myrmidons as well, so they've kind of equalized things overall across the map. Also, our back Harpies picked up by Fexes as well as Fexes and Mr. Crunchy. As left side, they're looking for a little bit of pressure. Blink coming in. Mr. Crunchy does find the stun onto Dardes, trying to lock down a little bit more damage. Fraction Shield finds it as well. He's getting locked up. Shackle is applied. Stackman's Prime will help find that kill. Going over to Vermi K. First blood has been drawn by Team Arcadia. That just put them in the lead by a decent little chunk of gold.
And that's double actives picked up at level 1, so he's kind of locked into it from Mr. Crunchy's side. Medalier is probably going to go into a Blink and a Hog anyway, but hey, now he's being locked into Blink and Hog. But aggression, it meant that he didn't clear the jungle as aggressively as well. And that could have also been a portion of the start that they went for with the solo lane, because this way, they can run the double actives, and they can still clear the jungle, and it gets a little bit of bonus XP to something that may not necessarily have it. So they may have had this entire planned out as soon as they got the Neith and the Ares draft, and then they went for the cab as well.
Yeah, some experience getting shared up mid lane. No mid Harpies to fight over in a couple seconds. The right side, they could potentially fight over them, but no 3 minute. Is there 3 minute Harpies? They might be 3 minutes because that was brought down initially. But 3 minute and 15, 3 minute 20-second Harpies. Numbers and times. It's math related, but I think I actually got that one more or less correct. I should stay away from the subject in its entirety, but they'll have ultimates online available inside of Myrmidons if they want to fight over it. Team Arcadia, Agni, Fexes does have the bombs up in the online. Fexes has many a times earned himself MVP out of that mid lane. Did he get double? I feel like someone got double MVP.
He may have done, actually, because I feel
like
he did it during the knockout rounds, and I feel like he got it in one of the round-robin weeks as well.
If he didn't actually get it, it was very, very tough call whether he should not. Anvil of Dawn coming down right side as well as the Pillar of Agony, as Bulbasaur will fall in the end. The giant beach ball, they just didn't want to play. They're just like, no, Hercules, just no. That's not what we're here for. We were at the beaches on the other side of the map. This is the deadly volcano zone. This is the death and destruction side of the map. No beach volleyball. No beach volleyball.
Am I seeing this for real? Girdle of Power is being... Oh, mid lane, they're going to get a stun down on towards Tynes, and Mr. Crunchy with a Refraction Shield combo from Vex says, this is going to pick up a kill for the side of Team Arcadia, so a win there. But take a look at the support items coming through for Myrmidons. They've gone for a Girdle of Power on Sylvanus.
Well, that's eventually going to be a Girdle of Support. It's an interesting trade-off as opposed to some of the other items that could look for later on. It's going to be a big burst of extra magical power and physical power, percentage-based as well, I believe, once that's activated. It's a lot of extra damage for this team, and look at the rest of the team. A Kraken with that activated is going to hurt even more than it would otherwise. Ram, again, more damage coming out. Thor, Hades. It's a lot of beneficial extra damage that'll be coming out from that one. we don't see it a whole lot because there's, generally speaking, other actives that may be more worthwhile to pick up. We may see a little bit of a repeat of last game. We have Wrath of the Gods. A lot of people saying, like, oh, you don't need it anymore. It's not a 25% execute. It's not good, not worth picking up. The last series, Septim 7 picked up Wrath of the Gods, I believe, every single game.
They did, 100%.
And they won them. I'm not saying, I'm not going to try and imply that, oh, they won because they got it. The Fire Giant in that one game came down to them not being, who's the other team? Team Bizarre were not able to fight that Fire Giant safely because the Wrath of the Gods was alive. They still could not risk it. If you can't go for an objective because the Wrath of the Gods is actually up and available, you can't at the same time say that it's not a good active to pick up anymore. If the other team has you kind of, they're at your whim because, well, they can just blink in and steal it, so we can't do anything about it.
It's 900 damage to non-god targets, right? 900 free damage by paying 900 gold. So you're getting 1 damage for every gold you pick up. And then, it's on a 60-second cooldown, so,
Yeah. We'll see how it plays out. Myrmidons have none at the moment. They could still have room to pick some up. Team Arcadia have 2. Yeah, the second one will be reduced by 50%. Subsequent hand to the Wrath of the Gods would do reduce damage, but it's still going to be 900 plus 450. It's still a lot of extra burst damage from that double hog coming on down.
Let's talk about why it's being picked up here as well. And it's important that who it's being picked up on. It's being picked up on Hercules.
Fex is getting caught out by Shock and Smash as well as Times. Mr. Crunchy, though, answers straight on back. No escape was used, but unfortunately the target was dead before it actually pulled anybody up. So it was there to secure the kill. The kill didn't come out otherwise. We'll go with that.
It was just bonus damage, right? You use it for that. That's a primary purpose of it. Actually, mid lane, they're going to get the grab on towards Mr. Crunchy. They might actually kill him off here, and I'm pretty sure the wisp damage, they will be able to do that. So Dardes finds himself another nice kill.
Yep, so to go back full circle with the active talk, more likely than not be a girdle support later on down the road. Going to be a lot of extra damage. They're not going to have the objective secure up, but if they can convert, find teamfight kills and victories overall, they may not need it. So it's not necessarily a bad pickup. They're just going to be looking to play objective fights differently. So straight up, we have to kill pretty much everybody, and then we can go for the objective. If we don't kill everybody, or at the very least, Hercules and Cabrakan, who do have those Hand of the Gods, which could be Wrath of the Gods later on. It's kind of a, well, we want to, but we can't go for these big objectives right now.
I can see that. I mean, as well, coming through from Hercules, we're just about to talk why he did pick up the Hog 2. And the reason that he's picked up the Hog 2 here is to help with the wave clear against Mogao and just out-pressuring Mogao, right? Mogao's just too safe. Look at that. Comes in, clears the wave, gets the heck out, has healed up at the same time. Bulbasaur can't handle that, so he picks up a Hog. He's got mana-free wave clear. That's what it's about. Or assistance in wave clear, only hitting 2 minions at this point in time.
Well, there's that girdle support all finished up, shiny, ready, and waiting to be used in the next engagement. That's a beach ball. Moga's still not one to play. It's like, no, Hercules, we're still not doing this. This is still not the beach. Used for wave clear. He's looking to go back to base, just clear the wave quickly, and then head off, do his own thing for a little while. It's solo lane. He's not going to be able to use it offensively, realistically, for the foreseeable future. And even if he wants to, Hades will say, you know what, I will just travel underground for a little bit and escape to not be killed. It's the reality of the situation in that solo lane for the time being. Elsewhere on the map, Dardes, the mid laner for Myrmidons, kind of chilling. Mr. Cruncher chilling in the mid lane as well. Just kind of getting some farm, bit of a lull in the action right now, as pretty much everything on the map is down at the moment. Thor hanging around the left lane. Buffs are about to respawn, but let's face it, not going to likely see any invade attempts at this point in time.
The first buffs are the ones that are more likely to be invaded and stolen away. From there, you've got to maintain timers and maintain pressure on that quadrant of the map to maintain the buff presence. So, it's as soon as you lose that sort of first buff presence and you're not majorly winning in one of the lanes, and let's be honest, it's EU here, so none of these lanes are going to be particularly high winning lanes without seeing a little bit more of you. I mean, Ares, he should be winning lanes a bit more, but he's rotating, he's just looking for those catch-outs at this point in time. It's not overly aggressive Ares play, it's kind of counterintuitive Ares play. It's just like, yo, wait, yes, he's rotating, we'll pick him off in the rotate because we've got Ares. It actually cancels out rotations from Myrmidons. So that's what you're going to be watching out for here from the side of Arcadia, is they go, okay, wait, we've caught the rotation on Sylvanus, and Sylvanus in particular, because he's bought that girdle of power.
Yeah, it's an interesting one as well. You kind of touched on a little bit. Stacking this front with that Ares. Ares is a god. He's a lane bully. You're looking to lock people down, use the shackles, use the searing flesh, just to wear the opponents in lane down repeatedly over the course of a match. with the changes, the way the game is played right now, there's really not much of a laning phase early on for the supports. You kind of leave the hunters to throw on devices earlier. You're not in lane. The poke isn't going to be sticking quite as much. And when you're rotating around like this, one of the biggest things, especially as Ares, is not falling behind. And that's kind of what's happening right now. Look at the gold difference. He's a couple hundred gold behind. He's 2 levels down over Dardes. He's not going to be that big frontline tank. Dardes can say, you know what, I will blink, I will use Wrath of Terra, and I will have done my job. Ares, you have to blink in, you have to use the no escape, and stay alive for 3-4 seconds. It appears we are getting kicked back to the login screen, guys. We'll be back. Well, we can finish the thought right here as we look to reconnect and all that fun stuff. But Ares, you have to be able to actually stay alive for a little bit to do what you need to do. You're an offensive support. You're a frontline aggressive god. You're not a blink in, use my crowd control ability, and I did my job. If I can do anything else, great. It's the bonus to the situation.
Yeah, he's high damage, high CC. That's his pressure, right? Cripples, then into a grab that can beads burn and still does a decent amount of damage. Searing Flash that does a high amount of damage. Yeah. Chains to do... You know, there's a lot of damage built across his kit with CC all at the same time. But if he falls behind, what has he got? He's not mobile.
No.
Him and Sylvanus are very similar in that aspect. But Sylvanus can top people up.
Yep. How's that, guys? We're going to cut to a quick little break, get the match back set and ready to go and all that fun stuff, because, you know, who wants to stare at a login screen? Oliver Vanna against his lovely backdrop is nice to look at for a couple seconds. Let's face it, that's not really what we're here to see. We want to see Myrmidons facing off against Team Arcadia in this best-of-5 matchup for the top semifinals, for the Summer Challenger Cup Grand Finals, for the summer split of Season 2. We'll be back with the continuation of this game in just a few minutes, guys. Stick around. Alright guys, sorry about that little bit of an issue we ran into. We're back in game. Myrmidons, Team Arcadia facing off against each other in this first round of this best-of-5 series. Not much has been going on. A couple kills came out. Gold is pretty much dead even. Kills, exactly even. They're equal to each other. 3 equals 3. I can occasionally do math.
Wow!
I know, it's crazy.
That's impressive.
There's a
You've been practicing.
Bulbasaur is still not aware that this is in fact not the beach. There is a beach. Beach is over there. There's crabs. Where Bulbasaur is, clearly not a beach. There's some lava and fire and flames and dead trees and burning buildings and destruction and death. But it's a soul lane and warrior versus guardian and slap fights and no actual death from the two gods. It's silly. It's all kinds of silly. Yep.
It's EU smart for you.
Yep.
But hey, if they're gonna farm up, I'm gonna sit here and enjoy them farming up. You know why? Because it means bigger fights sooner. Because they're all able to get, you know, same experience in gold basically online. That's the crucial factor.
You expect EU to fight. Such the optimist. It's about 10 minutes into the game. We have in fact actually had a couple of fights so far this game. Nothing really big coming out. No real early gold fear opportunities with the changes that came with the patch just a few days ago. So far though, it seemed overall these teams have adapted fairly well. There really haven't been any issues where a team has seemed kind of clueless. They've had a couple days to play. And to be fair, really not all that much has changed. You have to be a little more careful when you go for the Gold Furies and the Fire Giants, but otherwise, things more or less the same.
Yeah, well, you know, mid-camps, they've been taken several times. I think the right ones actually just went away in favor of Team Arcadia and left are just about to spawn. So we'll have to keep an eye on towards where that experience is starting to flow along, because at the moment it's very, very level, and a couple of these mid-camps could significantly start to swing these games back and forth. Just one level at this point in time could very much swing the game.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how these guys plays out. I mean, it's interesting. I mean, look at the team comps. We were touching on before the little bit of an incident occurred that Stackman's Prime was falling behind a little bit. He was 2 levels down. He's since rectified that situation. He's even with Dardes right now. Dardes is still a little bit ahead, to be fair. He'll be ticking to 11 before Stackman's Prime is. But more importantly, Stackman's Prime is catching back up. If he falls behind his areas, he's not going to a great spot. No escape. You have to hang there in the air for a few seconds while it channels, and then finally pull somebody in. Dardes, blink, Wrath of Terra, but wham bam, thank you ma'am, I did my job. If I can do anything else, great. If not, well, I already did what I came to do, and I don't care if I'm dead at this point in time. So that little bit of a trade-off with the way Ares gets played. I'm trying to remember where exactly he was placed. Incontinentia did put out a video with the tier list for his opinion with the patch changes. I can't remember if he was top tier or not, which is unfortunate because I'm talking about this right now. I want to say he was not S tier, top tier support in this meta right now. He's got the same sweat. He's still very powerful. If you get a good aggressive start with him, get some kills early, it can still work out quite well. But it's the same old situation. If you start to fall behind, it is almost impossible to get yourself back into a game as Ares.
Yeah, it depends upon the jungle matchups, I'm feeling, more so than just the supports at this point in time. And Shock and Smash is coming over to here towards this left-hand lane, starting to poke out some nice Berserker Barrage damage, but Arkyle's got the snipe off, and that's going to secure it. And now Vote MBK is going to get focused out here as well.
Shock and Smash drops back down, but he's in the middle of Tremors. Vote MBK survives the engagement, finds that kill on the Shock and Smash. Dax is dropping down the pain, finds one, looking for number 2 on the Tines, finds that for the double. They're looking to lock down Dart as well with this kill. Tremors drop it on down. That Tantrum is out and doing work. There's the stun coming on out. Not quite a triple. Mr. Crunchy picks up that kill, but nevertheless, they answered back in a big way, finding 4 kills just for their support.
And EU just fought, man. At 12 minutes, they just fought. You know why? Because the Gold Fury's alive. There's something to fight for, but Mogau's got other ideas as he's going to start rotating through the mid lane. They know he's here. He just walked through a minion wave. He's going to be careful.
Yep, he's going to go under the wall, and they're going to start the Gold Fury up. The Pillar of Agni is available. He can go cause problems. Red MBK is quite low on health. They're going to look for this. This is a risky play right now. Stacking this farm will come in. That means no going into the ground to get in range. Pillar of Agni, Team Arcadia will secure the Gold Fury as looking for the Steel Fexes finds Mogao. And Shock and Smash not really able to go in and look for that steal opportunity. A couple seconds earlier, Mogao could potentially found the steal, but the cripple meant he couldn't get in range quite as quickly as he would have otherwise hoped.
Damn, well, man, it's rough. That's rough. That's a really nice victory there for Team Arcadia. Multiple kills, the back of things, secure the Gold Fury as well, and then on the back of it, you know, another kill over on towards Mogao, and Bobasura's got some assist value on towards that one as well. That's nice for him. He's now on the Stone of Gaia. He's looking for the Talisman as well, so he's going to have a lot of resistances and a large health pool going into this mid-game. That ability to just vamp away damage with the mitigate wounds is going to start coming online real quickly.
Yeah, he's going to be a big factor in fights. Thor just went in there. In the left side lane, dropping on down, not finding anybody. He's going to look for Stackmas Prime, who did not, unfortunately, find anybody with that no escape. So, ultimate spent and not really finding anything on the back of either one.
That ultimate to actually come out from Stackmas Prime is actually for the CC reduction to ensure he didn't get killed off by the Thor tectonic rift, or tectonic shift, as actually it's properly known. But it means that he's got no pressure, and I mean, he did at least secure for his side. They got Gold Fury, they got multiple kills, so he at least participated in those. But he's now down an ultimate for a period of time.
Yeah.
Sylvanus can have more pressure here.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, having the ultimate up and available is a big factor in these fights. The problem is, are they going to find an opportunity to actually use it? It's been about 40 seconds since those ultimates were spent. Look at the timers left. 45 seconds and no escape. Shock and Smash, he has the Odin's Wrath, so going to be about 20 seconds off for the end of Dawn. A little bit sooner on that. But it's one of those situations. The way the game plays out right now, there's really not that many opportunities to find fights when you're kind of in between things, so to speak. There's no Harpies to fight over, there's no Gold for you to fight over. There's no reason for Team Arcadia to move into a spot where the Wrath of Terror from Dardas can actually be utilized.
Yeah, I mean, Dardas has got to play this kind of really careful over the next couple of minutes. Sylvanus, we all know how immobile he can be and how the top tiers of play. Yes, he does still maintain that same sort of pressure as he does in the more casual styles like use, but he's very immobile and very much more able to be picked off. Even though he's still considered pick/bannable at this level, it's actually a really kind of funky matchup to note that, you know, he's less effective here, because normally there's a lot of gods that are very effective and become more effective. It's very rare to find one that goes the opposite way.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we saw the attempt, I should say, coming up from Mr. Crunchy left side. One rolling assault later, the Blink Tectonic Shift did not find anything. Mid lane, Shock and Smash helping Tines clear up some minions, Fexes, taking a little dip in the pool. When your entire basis of living as a god is being, on fire, probably going in water, not the greatest idea in the world. But he got angry because he realized that this is not a happy place, so he threw a bomb at Tines and he took a bunch of damage. And guy said, "No, bad Tines, don't do that."
Yeah, stay the heck away. Right side, take a look at this tower though, and look who's the one starting to get pressure bound. Bulbasaur is out leveling Mogao now, and he's starting to get more pressure on towards this tower. That's a Hades that's clearly not able to clear all the waves that are important.
Yep. So, I mean, is there any indication so far? I mean, things are fairly even. Looking at the teams as they stand now, who do you give the advantage to at the moment, and who are you going to give the advantage to as the game continues going on if things otherwise stay even?
It depends on the initiate, I think, more than anything here. Because you have a look at the pickoff from the start of the Myrmidons. If they can set up for the perfect Pillar of Agni from Mogao, then they're in a really, really good spot. Otherwise, if the Wrath of Terror goes off and Mogao's not able to initiate and follow up off the back of that, it's not setting up all that well for Tynes. You know, I mean, they do have the Wrath of Terror, but it's then that entire damage is down to Arca's Rama. And at this point in time, he is level, which is nice. But as the game goes on, he is going to get further and further ahead of Neith, just because that's how the damage scaling. But look at the combo coming down. Fex says can actually put a lot of hurt on towards him. He's forced to use the ultimate coming through in the Astral Barrage and get out of stuns and damage early on. That's really worrying because he's only getting burst damage from being up there. He's not getting a nice amount of sustained damage.
Yep. Late game, it's going to kind of come down to how many beads can they pop before Stackmas Prime is looking to use that no escape. They have some options with it. Mr. Crunchy has the double stuns, Agni has the stuns, Hercules has the Earthbreaker and the Driving Strikes, Neith, Spirit Arrow, World Weaver. There's some options to pop the crowd control and removal like the beads on the side of Myrmidons. The question will be, can they do that before the situation arises where he's going to use it? Yeah, no escapes, worst case, will pop the beads off of anybody he's about to be pulling in. Darda is going to be like, ah, yes, pull me in, please, so I can Wrath of Terror the middle of your team on the back of it. Other than that, it's going to be who can pop them properly, and can they actually get a good pull in. If they do, there's a Kraken coming on out. They can find some burst damage much like that, in theory, onto multiple people who get pulled in by Stackmas Prime's no escape on that Ares. So it'll be interesting to see how they play it out late game, because they have a whole bunch of displacement. They have a very, very strong front line. They rely, I think, a little less so on Stackmas Prime for the front line, rely more on Bulbasaur and Mr. Crunchy's Cabrakan. Use those as the main frontliner. Have Stackmas Prime's Ares kind of be like more the halfback. I'm still going to be a frontline, be aggressive, look for the no escapes, but I'm not necessarily going to be the person up there front to start the fight initially. If I see a 5-man blink no escape, I'll go for it, but otherwise, I'll look to kind of stay alive a little bit longer, do some more damage over the course of the fight, and then wait for that prime opportunity after crowd control and removal has been burned, and then use my ultimate.
Can I go ahead and point something out pretty major here? It's the fact that Arcadia have double Heartward Amulet. I mean, in this sort of a scenario, surely Hercules, Bulbasaur would have had the ability to say, hey, I'm going to build a Heartward Amulet. Or, you know, coming through from the side of Stackmas Prime, he could have said, hey, I'm going to build a Heartward Amulet. What are they doing with two? This is very risky itemization.
Looking for Fexes, does find him in this mid lane. Tectonic Rift comes down as well for damage. Dirks the Barrage. World Weaver, though, stops him in his tracks. As the bombs rain down, Fexes will survive the engagement. Actually gets the kill on a Shock and Smash with the passive. So trading back in an otherwise unfortunate situation that Fexes found himself in.
Well, that's a little bit aggressive, a little bit overeager in the mid lane. Myrmidons, the aggressive team, I guess that's kind of what they're supposed to be doing at this point in time. I mean, they got Mogao, but Mogao's been able to have next to no influence on this map, but he's going double stacking items. As soon as he gets into a Rada Tahuti, he's going to have a lot of damage as well. Potentially even an Ethereal Staff might come out later on in this build as well.
Yeah, it's definitely a possibility. You were touching on as well just a moment ago, the double Heartward Amulets. It's not necessarily a bad pickup. Yeah, the auras don't stack in any way, but it gives you a much larger area of effect where Darda is caught down and killed off mid lane. Tectonic Shift is rough when you have no real escape from it. Tynes now again lockdown beads or other Aegis in that situation will stop him from getting pulled on in. So that will be on cooldown, not going to be able to avoid some damage later on, but sometimes, you know, save beads for later on. Because it's shorter, yeah, I don't know, shorter cooldown would have been back up sooner as well. I don't know, whatever. It's kind of a back and forth choice. He went with the Aegis, and let's face it, he doesn't have to worry about a Kraken, so it's not the worst situation.
I'm more thinking about the fact that Tynes needed to dodge the damage that came out of that that ultimate, and now he can use beads to counter engage and, you know, fight something back out and be able to put out damage. Shock and Smash did a lot to Stackmas Prime here, and the snipe from Archive! On point, son! On point! So much on point that there was a big target painted on the ground, and, well, Stackmas Prime ate it.
As the thought process comes together as well, Aegis, you can't use it while crowd controlled. Beads, you can. Why risk a situation later on where you're caught by, you know, you get stunned up by Cabrakan while the no escape is about to go in? You can't beads out of that. Or rather, you can't Aegis out of it, you can beads out of it. So why not keep the better crowd control removal in reserves for later on? That's likely the thought process behind using the Aegis in that situation.
Yeah, well, 100% right on that. Yeah, being able to, it's. I guess what we said was counter engage. I think that's the best way to put it. Is the fact that if you drop an Aegis, you can't do anything. Yeah, you're not going to take any damage. Yeah, you're not going to be. You can't really be CC'd and whatnot on the Aegis. But if you drop the beads, you can immediately turn back around and your cooldowns are lowered by 3 seconds. So that's the counterpoint.
Yep. So other than that, looking, you were talking about the Hades build earlier on. I don't know if your stuff could be a possibility. There's some options available. He's building up towards. He picked up a lost artifact, and we'll see. That could be a Chronos pendant. That could be a Rada Tahuti. More damage, get those cooldowns off more quickly as well. The fears / silences, always very nice to be having thrown around very frequently in a team fight. Elsewhere, Spirit Robe picked up on Thor, a little bit of defensive item, fairly standard stuff coming out of there. Other than that, pretty much standard builds across the board. The Heart War is kind of the really standout thing on the right-hand side for Arcadia. It doesn't stack, but having the double item does actually increase the overall effective area of that buff. The extra physical damage late game will be nice. You don't want to be caught by a Thor or a Ram. And let's face it, who doesn't love a little bit of extra mana regen? Let's be real about that.
Yeah, I suppose, it's always fantastic. Oh, this match is going into a little bit of an interesting phase because you haven't seen a lot of heavy plays coming out, and again, we go back to Arcadia and we say, hey, you've drafted an Ares, you've also drafted an Neith, right? Your left-hand side of the map is going to start becoming less... I mean, Vote MBK is level 19. Arkyle's also level 19. We're at 23 minutes and we haven't seen a major contested objective at this point in time.
Yeah.
Their comp is more and more starting to rely about Fex's ability to impact these fights. Bulbasaur is going to be huge to them now as well because MBK, he's just not the same late-game hunter as an Arkyle Ram.
No, absolutely not. Some extra AoE damage, but at the same time, Arco, toggle on your 1, and suddenly you're hitting multiple targets and through walls, all sorts of silly stuff like that. And who doesn't love a snipe from across the map? Or the ability to use it as sort of like Aegis effect up in the air. Sit there for 6 seconds, buy yourself time for Rolling Salt to come back off cooldown, and buy yourself some time to escape from an otherwise bad situation. Thor's up. They know this Gold Fury is going on. He's dropping straight down the middle. This one trying to lock down Vote MBK. The combo wasn't quite there. He will be able to back off now. Arkyle turning this one around, looking to burst it down. There's a good support being popped, looking to engage at the same time. Vote MBK trying to secure the Gold Fury. Arkyle finds the kill with the snipes. Gold Fury has now since been reset.
Yeah, but now they've gotten on towards Vote MBK, and he's incredibly low. Mogau's going to secure that one up, and the next focus will be turned and burn on towards Fex, as they won't even need to secure him because they've got 3 kills. And Myrmidons secure it into a Gold Fury, and that's going to level Gold Fury count up at 1-1, but they might have caught Bulbasaur as well.
Yeah, he's Hercules. You can catch him all you want, but you need like a couple freight trains to smash into him simultaneously to actually kill him. In that situation, Myrmidons, there were no trains at the ready to crash into him. Then on the right side of the map, pings have come out on the right side, tier 1, on the back of that tier 1 mid tower and the Gold Fury being brought down. So Myrmidons looking to secure themselves a nice gold lead. Pulling up that graph, you can see they finally got things in their favor as far as gold is concerned. Experience, not quite the same story right now as Team Arcadia are trying to stop them from getting this tower.
Yeah, Tynes though, look at how low he's starting to get. Fexes on the backside is now in a little bit of trouble as well. Shock and Smash won't find the Berserker Barrage, and he's forced to just run the heck away from this one. They're in a world of trouble at this point in time, but Bulbasaur is going to get out of there totally fine.
So otherwise, we finally saw some action. That's what we can take away from that one. A couple objectives picked on up. Team Arcadia trying to hold on to their lead as best they possibly can. They haven't lost the experience lead, but it's not really all that much. You look down at levels, it's kind of just a situation of, I just happen to be up a level. A couple guys are level 20. A couple guys, look at the junglers. That's where the difference is really sitting right now. Shock and Smash is a good bit behind. He's 0-2-5. He's not doing too badly, but at the same time, Mr. Crunchy with that Cabrakan, a very big frontline menace for his team. Go in there, stay alive, and just cause all sorts of havoc. The Mystical Mail's online, the Spear Robe's online as well for extra protections, and a little bit of extra health, but it's a bit of a lull period once again. Mid-Harpies are about to spawn. It's late enough in the game where you don't necessarily want to be fighting over them because it's not worth losing half your team if the fight goes poorly. At the same time, it's late enough in the game that you need to start looking to force fights out because if the other team finds a favorable initiation or a pick themselves, they then put themselves in this position to go start taking your towers.
Yeah, and take a look at what the positioning from Shock and Smash is starting to come out towards. You mentioned they want to fight. It's time to start doing it. It's 26 minutes into the game. We need to start seeing some pressure coming out. With 18 kills only on the map at this point, it's been a very slow game. Very EU standard game. But Shock and Smash is suddenly hiding around all these corners. Places where you do not expect wards to be. And just waiting for that ultimate drop in and just burst out whoever the hell he can focus.
Sure. I mean, it's rough. It's a rough situation for both these teams right now. It's a best-of-5 series, and SPL relegation's invite is on the line right now. This is a big game for both these teams. That's why you're not seeing any super, super crazy aggressive play coming out from either of them. Yes, it's EU. This is kind of normal fare to begin with. I'm a little disappointed, to be honest. And then these teams are saying, you know, let's just go for something totally cheesy and over the top and try and get an easy first game win, and then play standard fare after the fact. I'm a little disappointed personally in that regard. But the teams this is the safe option. This is what you kind of expect out of these teams. You go for what you used to. You don't try anything too crazy. You go for the victory. You do what you know you can do well, rather than going for the gamble that may not work out for you in the end.
I actually prefer game one to not go balls to the wall and go for such a weird strategy, especially on this patch more than anything, because of the jungle changes, right? In the first game of the other series that we saw, the other best of 5 series between Septum 7 and Bazaar, Septum 7 went for that aggressive start. They picked up the Arachne, which is a little bit of an oddball draft. They went for mid-camps with the spiders, then they went straight into a blue steel. They got first blood, they snowballed incredibly off that, and had it not been for the 4v5, I had a feeling that they were probably going to win that game just because of how they played the early game and how they outsmarted their opponents. It's risky, though. What if your opponents has planned something untoward ready for you, right? If you feel them out first, at least get a sense for what their startings are like. Next game you can look to go, alright, we're going to start our buff into lane into your buff. So, for example, left-hand side will go ADC and Duo will start on the purple buff, mid lane, jungle, and potentially right lane can start at mid camps into buff, and then into mid for the mid laner, and then into buff, second buff for the solo laner. You know, there's different sort of starts you can really do. So
mid lane fight breaking down. Mr. Crunchy caught out on the back of an engagement they were looking for. Dardas gets pulled in by the no-scape, but not too concerned about that. Vodamiki going to take a double tap from the Shock and Smash Hammer. Fight continues. Weaken Curse drop on down. Dardas' health getting very low as Ram's up for the snipes.
Yeah, he's not really going to be able to secure anything for his team at this point because it's Tyne's doing all the work thus far. You get another snare down on towards Bobasura, but a great stun on towards Shock and Smash might turn things around. He's incredibly low, but Mogau's going to go forward. Bodo MBK threads the eye of the needle and manages to secure one, but Mogau's got just as much in return.
I'm looking for more back and forth. Arcadia able to dodge the Earthbreaker with a quick little juke to the side. Looking for Vote MBK, backflip gets him out safely. That was actually beads as well, as Mogao finds the kill onto Bulbasaur in the front line. Tier 2 tower very much under threat right now. Myrmidons have a firm lead on this game, 4,000 gold up right now, as they're going to turn tail. Instead of looking at that Tier 2 tower, go straight for the Fire Giant.
I like this. I really, really like this from Myrmidons. They've been struggling to get anything going. It's immediately after big objective wins and big fight wins to turn and burn on towards Fire Giant. What's it known for? Creating bigger and bigger disparities between the teams. That's what they needed to create, and create it they have.
And that was the opportunity they were looking for as well. They got Bulbasaur and Mr. Crunchy off the map. The Hand of the Gods, Wrath of the Gods, whatever you want to call them, removed from the game. Vote MBK, you have a Spirit Arrow. No setup on the backflip means not a whole lot of damage. Even without having the Wrath of the Gods available, it was a pretty safe pickup, and Mogao was there just zoning out just in case. If Vote MBK said, you know what, I'm going to just run straight on in, guess what? You had to get through Mogao to do it first, and it wasn't likely to happen with him in a favorable situation for that steal. And yeah, it worked out. That was Myrmidon's opportunity to get it. They have it. Now they need to look to make use of this and turn this into they basically want to remove all the towers from the map, get a lot of gold, and then potentially look for the Phoenixes as well with about a minute remaining on that buff and about a couple minutes down the road.
Yeah, so you know they're gonna be doing a decent amount with this buff. Where do they go? Is it right lane? No, it's probably not right lane. Is it left lane? Well, that tier 2, that's your free tower. But then where do they transition into looking to push for that Phoenix Showdown? Which lane do you expect to see the pressure down? Do you expect them to continue in the left lane? Maybe some split pushing?
If I was in that situation, I was calling the shots right now. Right lane, take tier 2 mid, go to left lane, take tier 1, tier 2, and start looking for that left lane in Phoenix. Fire Minions as far away from the Fire Giant as possible is the ideal situation. That said, there's nothing stopping them from just, picking up the Gold Fury, doing tier 1, tier 2, and sweeping across the right side of the map. At the end of the day, a Phoenix is a Phoenix. Fire Minions are Fire Minions. even if they're not necessarily in the most ideal lane. Vote MBK, about to be dead to rise right here. No way in hell he's getting out of this one alive. Arkle picks up that kill.
That's huge. They get another kill on towards Arcadia, and look at that. He's level 20 and just shreds through towers at this point. Pick Me Up is just big, and it's being big in such an such a big way at this point in time too.
Yep, tier 2 very much at risk right now. Arcadia, I don't really see them looking to contest this too much. It's a tier 2 tower. It's not worth losing a fight over. Stackmas Prom gets pulled in. No escape on 4 members. Arkel finds the kill before the pull comes out, however. Kraken was spent for that one. Bulbasaur now getting chased down. Mogal finds Fexes. They look to chase towards this tier 1, or Phoenix. Not a tier 1 Phoenix, it is a tier 1 Phoenix, but nevertheless, Mogal finds the double. It's only Bulbasaur left standing as the Phoenix will fall, and it looks like Myrmidons are looking for victory in game number 1 as they head straight through to the Titan.
Oh, what a grab on towards Bulbasaur first to at least try and put some pressure back on towards him. Titan at 50% health, and it's a really good moment to secure victory for Myrmidons. They were just like, okay, we're playing this passive, we're playing this passive, we're playing it at our pace. Now we're going for it because we want to go for it. We found one successful fight, one counter rotation, but look at them. The entire time they were just like, no, we can't fight this just yet. We can't catch that rotation. No, we can't fight this just yet. We can't catch that rotation. Soon as they find that rotation, they get the counter, they get the kill, and they just press that button and go ham.
Yep. Yeah, I can confirm, guys, there are in fact going to be more Phoenixes. We're moving the map up to have 5 Phoenixes. So we have tier 5 Phoenix because it's crazy at that level. It's actually not. There's only 1 Phoenix. Whatever. I don't know. I was going to take those places and we just didn't get there. We missed the train, missed the boat, whatever you want to call it. Myrmidons, though, will take game 1 in this best of 5 series. They'll be moving on. Well, not moving on. They'll be going to game 2. Not moving on quite yet. They still have a couple more games to go. First, Team Arcadia going to be looking to bring things back around in game number 2. These guys are still playing. The victor has yet to be decided. So, we will see who comes out victorious in game number 2 in just a couple minutes here, guys. So stick around. We'll be back with that as soon as possible.